So you should be okay. So do you mind wanting to start your presentation so that it can be streamed directly? So you are available on Zoom now, so you can continue your presentation. Or if you don't mind to start again, if it wasn't too
I should start again?
Yes. But you can run through a bit faster till this point, and then you can just take it there. So now your stream is live on YouTube as well.
All right. Yeah, okay, so I will start again. I will try to be faster. Like I said, it's a presentation on the use of open mapping tools for community investment monitoring. It's actually a small project that I did. It wasn't meant to be fully conclusive. It was more of an explorative project on how open mapping tools can be used for community investment monitoring. So community investment monitoring basically is the tracking, evaluating, and assessment of investments made within a specific local community. It involves systematically monitoring the progress, outcomes, and impacts of various investment projects. Investments like infrastructure development, business investments, as well as social programs and public initiatives. So community investment monitoring is very key. And as far as community development is concerned, it helps in the utilization of resources. It helps to hold people accountable for the impacts the investments are making in the community as well as the environment. It also helps in guiding investments to meet the community needs to foster sustainable development. So in this project, I utilized open mapping tools, including QGIS and COBOL-Correct, to assess the economic impact of residential infrastructure development in Chidega Township of Blantyre. It's a township in the outskirts of Blantyre City, one of the cities in Malawi. So it involved mapping the residential buildings and business infrastructures that included private schools, shops, clinics in the two different time periods, 2017 and 2023. And then this data was complemented with a business perception survey that I did by doing random interviews random interviews in markets as well as household interviews. So to expand more on the methods, I used Google Earth imagery for the two different time periods, digitized the buildings, and then had to produce two different maps for the two different time periods. And then I had to compare the maps in terms of numbers as well as the visual aspect. Similarly, for the investments, I had to collect GIS coordinates for the location of the different investments that I was targeting. Sorry, is someone speaking? Is someone speaking?
No, no one is speaking. It's just you.
All right. So for the investments, like I said, I collected two for the two different time periods, the points, and then had to cross-check on the Google Earth imagery, and then had to produce map for the investments, and then I had to compare the investments using the two different maps. So you would notice that for 2017, the project was done in 2023, but then we had to collect data for 2017. This is where community involvement comes in. On the onset of the project, I had to find someone who was more local to the area than myself. I had to train him in data collection as well as digitizing QGIS. And then to complement on that, the local residents were also very key in providing the historical data for the investments that were there then in 2017. So for the buildings, we mapped 5,339 buildings in 2017 against 7,853 buildings in 2023, representing almost 47% growth in residential buildings. For the investments, there was also significant growth. For schools, there are now 30 schools in 2023 against 18 schools that were there in 2017, 4 of which are government schools and 26 are private education facilities. The same for lodges. There are now 2 new lodges, 7 new shops, 3 new stages for motorcycle taxis, and for clinics, it's the same number. There's still 3 clinics from 2017 to 2023. So for the business perception survey, we were actually asking the residents if they had noticed any growth in residential infrastructure in the area, if they would prefer to buy goods within the area or outside the area, if they believe the residential growth has had any impact. So all our respondents noticed the growth in the residential infrastructure. 86% preferred buying within the area, 14% preferred buying outside, and all respondents believe the residential growth had positively impacted the businesses. However, 13% had reservations on the significance of the impact. So 74% of the respondents were not aware of the availability of other businesses like makeup or cosmetics. So they would prefer to go to other areas. But then 26% preferred outside the area because they had a perception that the area was not fit to supply such services. So for the challenges and limitations, like I said, the study was not fully conclusive. It was more of an explorative study, so we didn't have a definite monitoring framework. Similar for the survey design, it was very random. And then we also faced the challenge in collecting the historical data. And we also had a very big challenge in actually finding the neighborhood boundaries of the area. There were virtually no neighborhood boundaries, except for one side, which is under the city council. They had a different boundary. So it was actually the community local nodes that help us in actually identifying the boundaries of the area we were targeting. In as much as the study was not fully conclusive, there were a number of significances. The study highlights the role of open data mapping in facilitating data collection, analysis, and visualization for investment monitoring. It also underscored the significance of community participation and feedback mechanisms, the monitoring process of investment projects. It also underscored the need for community investment to enhance the decision-making processes in the communities, to actually ensure that the investments align with the community needs to foster sustainable development. So there were a number of lessons learned. First of all, we learned on the power of local mappers in community mapping projects. Like I said, I had to involve someone who was more local to the area and was very helpful in as far as having my way around the community and be able to actually have an easy way around the interviews to help in the survey collection of the data. So similarly, we also learned on the need to involve community leaders in community mapping. For us, it was easy because we are local to the area, people know us, so we didn't have much of a problem in collecting data through the interviews as well as the geographic coordinates. So it also highlighted that local residents are a very good resource for historical data. Like I said, I had to rely a lot from the local residents to get the historical data for 2017 and be able to cross-check it on the Google Earth imagery. So, in just a nutshell, community investment monitoring is very key, and open mapping can play a very great role to facilitate this process. It can be integrated with other tools. We talk of dashboards, interactive dashboards. We talk of web maps. It can also be helpful in actually monitoring long-term investments. You can also use it to actually monitor progress in infrastructure developments and hold people accountable for maybe contractual agreements. So local mapping can play a role in visualization, in the collection of the data, as well as being able to monitor the progress over time. So that's all for the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. If there can be any questions, you can send them in the chat box and then I'll be able to answer. All in all, I would like to thank you all guys for attending the session. We can always connect through Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, using that name, Precious Kisuse, as well as on Twitter, Chileka Mappers. You can also have my number there, as well as my email address for actually connect or actually provide feedback as regard to the project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Precious. That was a brilliant presentation. The floor is open for questions for the next 5 minutes before we start the next session. So anyone with a question on the call can go ahead and ask. Sorry about the noise in the background. Anyone with a question, a comment?
Any question? Any insight, any input is allowed.
Okay, if we don't have anyone with a question, so I would like to thank you, Precious, for the wonderful presentation. This moment, I'm going to end the recording and the live streaming so that we prepare for the next session. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.